Shadows stretch where the silence breaks. Whispers twist through the faded stakes. I'm a stranger lost in the fall, dragging chains through the endless sprawl. Market ashes burning my soul, rising dust taking its toll. Set my line but it slips away, creeping slow on this weary play. Oh, market ashes. Echoes howl where the hope runs thin. Ashes choke wearing down my skin. Hold the mark, turn the tide to gray. Still I linger, lost in the sway. Market ashes burning my soul, rising dust taking its toll. Set my line, now I grip the fight. Neon fades in the endless night. Oh, market ashes. Silent tide, I rise from the edge. Cut the weight, reclaim the flesh. Market ashes burning my soul, rising dust taking its toll. Set my line, now I grip the fight. Neon fades in the endless night. Oh, market ashes. Market ashes. Oh, market ashes. Heavy load, my restless crash. Oh, market ashes, I'm riding you out. Chase the high, leverage to the brim. Stack ruled strong, felt the market's hem. Dream soared high, then the crash crept near. Margin call hums, I drown in fear. Panic swells, bags slip through my hands. Heart beats wild, sinking in the sands. Sweat runs hot, dead pulls me below. Liquidation's call, soft and slow. Liquidation cry draws me in. Fear flows deep. Where do I begin? Pain drifts soft. I'm lost within. Oh, liquidation.
We got about 7 people in the stream right now. Appreciate you guys for being here. I'm going to give it just a few minutes, finish wrapping up a few things on the setup here. Let a few more people try to trickle in here, and we'll start taking a look at this market. We'll also take a look at some altcoins here too. Some of them are holding strong, and that's worth looking at. But we're approaching a scary time in this market, where things could go okay, things could go meh, or things could go, oh my god, this is horrible. Why didn't I get out earlier? Yeah, we're kind of, they got us parked right there. going into the weekend. Back to their old games, I'm not surprised.
Saw the edge, drew a line to save. Took a pause, felt the fear unwind.
Love you, Joe. Joe also provides a lot of thought process.
Foot retreats, but the echoes bind. Liquidation cry, it draws me in. Fear flows deep. Where do I begin? Pain drifts soft, I'm lost within. Oh, liquidation cry.
Probably should put a little bit more emphasis on this part right now because of what Bitcoin's doing. Because when Bitcoin's not happy, the altcoins are not going to be happy either. Ladies and gentlemen, let us start out with the ringing of the cowbell. Clear the air. Bring the good vibes. Nothing like a little cowbell to bring a little joy and optimism to your life. Get one today, Tractor Supply. Tell them Road Dogg sent you. They won't give you a discount, but they'll just look at you bewildered. But hey, at least it gives you something to do while you're in there.
I'm sipping on green, portfolios the sauce, riding waves so high. I'm the
We're going to be spending time into the lounge area today.
Beaches in my view, Paris nights with the
Well, let's go there now. Sean, hit the freaking button.
You don't have to yell at me.
For those of you that have been hitting that like button,
Sometimes I
I just want to say thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the daytime surprise stream. I don't do these very often, but I usually do. It's usually around this time in the afternoon when they come on, and unless I see something extremely notable to talk about, that's usually when I'm trying to do these, or something about to pop off, good or bad. But I felt it was important to do this today as the market is getting a little nervous right now with what's be going on coming up tomorrow and all the things. We have a lot of news coming out this week. Existing home sales. Fed Charles speech is tomorrow. That's the big thing. That's going to be at 10 a.m. in the morning. That is going to be the market maker's feast day. And I can pretty much, I'm not going to say guarantee it, but I would expect them to try to ruin everybody, longs and shorts, tomorrow, just to make it all crazy. And then we'll kind of see the area that they're really trying to take us. So lots of sketchy price action. This is a scary time to be in. If there's any way to be right now, honestly, I think the best way to be is neutral. And let me make my arguments for what we have going on. We're going to take a really good look at both the bullish and bearish scenarios that we could be facing right now at this very unique time in our 4-year cycle, and just in the world in general, what's going the freak on. I think it's by design to be so damn confusing, to be honest with you, or bewildering. Because this is a make and break moment. What you decide to do right now could determine if you're going to be happy over this next 6 to 8 weeks, or you're going to be sitting there, oh gosh, darn it. I did, in my personal opinion, that's what we're looking at. Here we are on the daily for Bitcoin, where it all starts. And this was our last low down here at 75,000. This has been the run we've been on. It was doing this little guy. We lost that, went sideways, and this trend line started maturing a little bit. We came up here. And when we go from candle bodies to candle bodies here, we see that we got one hump, a two hump. We got a little third hump up here, and then we lost this trend line. Now, by counts, if you're into Elliott wave theory, which I do follow, but it's not my main thing because, oh my gosh, get 6 Elliott wave people in the room and you'll be there an hour discussing what's happening with price action. And by the time that they finally get a consensus, it's already happened. That's the way I look at it. Here we go, possible 5th wave taking us for an ABC correction. Yes, correction. That's not the only sign, but that's a pretty good big sign. And the 5th Elliott wave, when it doesn't get to a bigger high from here, they can double top. We are looking at a possible double top situation that is not yet confirmed, but gosh darn it, we are so close to it. even if it does confirm, it could still be a dirty ass fake out where they just come back, oh man, double top, I gotta sell it all, and then they just fake you out, and then they start quickly pumping to the upside. My prediction is you're going to see a lot of dirty tricks going on right now, because that is what the market makers do, and the big money players out here do. It shows up on the charts as being some dirty, nasty tricks that will fake you out, get you enticed to make the wrong decision, whichever way that is, and then slam your face into the ground and make you eat it. It's like, I don't know, like the schoolyard bullies in grade school or something. Eat the fan. Yeah, you like it. Eat more. I don't know. Oh my God, trauma. Anyway. Here, Elliott Wave is suggesting several different levels, all the way down to 93,099. I agree with you on every one of these levels. We are looking at the same thing, people. The bigger Fibonacci pole here. And that is building from the low to the high to find the retracements that we will be coming down to if we are topping. So, if that happens, what do you think is going to happen to altcoins? Well, Total 3 can give us a nice little answer on that. Others would probably be the best one because that's the most of the crypto. Now, right now, I got to tell you, for altcoins over here, I mean, we still doing all right. We technically still doing okay. Well, no, we doing better on altcoins than we are on Bitcoin, and there's something to be said there. Altcoins making higher highs, higher lows. Technically, we could still say that of Bitcoin, but we lost a trend line on Bitcoin. We haven't lost it yet here on altcoins. I gotta say, altcoins are looking a lot more better than Bitcoin, although that can quickly change tomorrow. Currently with altcoins, you got this little guy right here going sideways. You see that? Little support resistance horizontal, support resistance flippy. Flipping in. You could be looking at this as a double bottom coming up. Yeah, a little shaky there, but retesting the neckline. That's a bullish way to look at Total 3. It can look kind of good. So you mean Bitcoin's going to drop and altcoins are just going to go to the moon? That rarely happens, my man, because usually Bitcoin is going through a big nasty downtrend. It's not that people are looking at Shiba Inu saying, I gotta get some more Shiba. They're usually saying, oh my God. Because we know altcoins follow Bitcoin a lot. What if we come down and respect this little channel idea that we got going on right here? Well, 320 billion in that area was the top. And what if we might be working our way down to the bottom of this channel, which we often do. Channels just go up and down, up and down. What if this is working on making a double toppy M pattern here? I mean, these are what ifs, but they're probable. Just not seen it yet, so we'll take that in our favor. Right now, altcoins are holding strong, which means you still got some time to get out if you need to, or take profits if you need to, before taking any brunt to the downside, which may or may not be coming. 4 hour looks good. I got all these bigger moving averages down here, 800, 666, 360. I use those, and I like the way they look in here on the 4 hour. It doesn't mean that we can't come down and test any one of those, or even right down below them and recover. So at least things are looking a little bit better on altcoins. I gotta say that. I give it credit where credit is due. They don't look so shabby. I'm just saying. I mean, sure, we're going through a correction. People might be freaking out about a possible head and shoulders, and yeah, could be. And it has not invalidated it. It only invalidated if we get up past here. And then some people will be looking, but it's a falling wedgie to the upside. And yeah, they can look at that too. Well, this one has a 68% chance to break to the upside. This one has something more like a 64% chance to break to the downside. Which is it gonna be? Yeah, and that's what everybody's fighting with right now, I believe. Safe to say we lose $283 billion on this chart here, break this trend line, and hey man, discount on altcoins. It might be what we're looking at. There's some other things we look at. Let's go back to Bitcoin. I'm trying to take a look at that first. We've dropped down from where was the chart that I just had? G? Yeah, G. Gotta zoom out here. My biggest concern about Bitcoin is losing that main trend line right here. That usually spells no good. Now, the alternatives we got is that, one, we could just be ranging through here. My argument for that, if you see this, this was our fib pull. Coming back on track here. Swing low to swing high. Tell me where I need to buy. That's the incantation that I use. And then we see all of our juicy little fib levels. And this is one that Elliott Wave is using too. Elliott Wave uses Fibonacci as well. And if we lose this area here at the 236, which happens a lot, people, when we normally pull a fib, this is not the first area that we're saying, yay, that's going to hold. We've been fortunate to see that happen. And when it does hold, it leads to a big ass move. It can wind up giving you a measured move, believe it or not. You won't believe it until you actually seize it, so we plan it out ahead of time. But if that were to happen, you got targets that are coming up here to about $162,000. Sounds bullish AF, right? Yeah, the only problem is we broke a trend line, and that's like putting some crimp, that's crimping my hopes and dreams here, because no bueno. So that's what could happen if we respect this range through here. That could. Some of you might be seeing what could possibly happen if we bounce in here. You know, we're hoping to bounce. That would be great. If we see a bounce, come back, start regaining some areas. There's still a few signs saying, yeah, we could do that. But I got to say, the first thing you got to look at when you get a bounce off of this is where we broke out at. And that's about 117,000. That could be the first area we come up to get rejected from, roll over, and then we start coming down. That would be a lot better than what could happen tomorrow when we just fall straight down. Or even worse, you fall down just a little bit, catch this 100 moving average, fake everybody out, and then start coming back up here. And that could be enough to liquidate enough people to make them happy, to get them all chasing up here, and then put the slam bam, thank you ma'am on you, bringing us down to 105 or even 100,000. 100,000 is very possible to be retested. We've only retested it this one little time back here in June. I hope that would be the last time we do it, but hey, you know how this market works, and a very, very key level psychological support of 100,000. 30% drops being normal. We talked about this situation a long time, that we could be coming up here to the mid 120s, maybe even up to 130,000, and still get that 30% retracement, which usually comes in a bull market. That's the one that really shakes people out. And that's the big ass drop. Might this be happening now? It could be. It could be. I would liken this probably to like the F2 pool crash that we had last cycle. That scared the bejesus out of everybody, made everybody second guess, why am I in crypto? And if I remember right, I think it was this one right here. Yeah, February 2020. Bitcoin was at $58,000, and then it wasn't. Man, it looked so good. Flag City upside abounded, and then we had a nice 26% drop. Right down here to 43, and it felt like it was over. It did. It felt horrible. It's a quick drop. First drop they got us to, and man, this is when Cryptos Are Us became on the scene. You know, BitBoy reached out to him, and that's how I first learned about Cryptos Are Us. And George turns out to be a pretty good old guy. He was into all that on-chain metrics, and I don't think he even knew regular TA at that time. He does now. He's a trading fiend right now. He's got some good stuff going over there. He's even got a free teachings thing over there for you guys that are interested and want to get a different take on how to read the market and stuff. I might even go see what all he's teaching over there himself. I just hadn't got around to it. Cryptos Are Us George. I like him. And if you ever need that little pick-me-up, kind of, not too hope him, I mean, but sometimes you just need to be reminded that Bitcoin is the right choice, and he will always be there to remind you of that. And showing you know, he does it, and it's worked out for him, and the people that do put faith in Bitcoin seem to do pretty good. So when you get scared and keep trying to sell it all the time and play little games with it, that doesn't quite work out. But I don't know why I pulled a fib there. I guess I'm just a habit I'm in. But anyway, it's not uncommon to have them big ass drops. Is when they take you to, oh my god, we're going to buy a hollow 68,000, we're going to 100,000. That was the talk back then. Yeah. BitBoy, I think, got liquidated on that move. A lot of people got liquidated on that move. They like to do that. Clears the air, and then they start. What do they do afterward? What do they do afterward? After that drop, they slowly recover, and then another strong move followed to a new higher high. So let's come back now where we are, 12 people hanging out with me. Thank you so much for being here. I'll be over into the chat just shortly, and the stream is more just to talk about the scary ideas, though. I want to make sure I get this information out. So there's lots of options that we could be going through right here. And too many options and breaking a trend line. That's just something that I'm skeptical about. So some people are reading this as a double top, and it could be rightly so. We just got to come back and confirm it. It's not going to be confirmed till we break this bottom, and that's about 111.5. And she's getting down there. She's been flirting with it, trying to get everybody scared to front run, because if you get emotional and see it cutting there, you're just all man. It's a double top. I'm going to front run it. I'm going to go ahead and short or whatever that you're doing, and then up. You didn't wait for confirmations. Oh, it wasn't that? They faked you. They got you. Confirmations are so important. So some people asking what kind of pattern is this, because he's a little roundy and a little pointy, and it's like a reverse Adam and Eve inverted, if you want to get on the technical. But in short, every double top, every double bottom plays out the same rules. You're in a range, you have a measure move, depending on how you want to take that. Candle body is what I'm looking for, and then you apply it to the breakout area, which technically would be here, and that kind of hints that we'd be coming down to 105, down to 102, 103, right in this little zone, depending on how you take your measure move, if you want to count the wick or not, because that would bring you down lower to 100,000. And so you can see there's an argument there, losing a trend line, making a double top pattern. Once it confirms, it could be our path to $100,000. How's your altcoins going to hold up when we go back to $100,000? Probably not good. Most likely not good. Definitely not all of them. Maybe a few will say some strength, and there are some holding some strength. Those are some of the subtle signs that are saying it might be a fake out. Just that. The bigger players, some of those bigger monies in the Chainlink, OKB, Pendle, all those ones are holding up and even doing good. Waves, for some reason, still holding strong. Maybe they know something we don't. So that's one scenario. And we talked about, and it could come up higher. It could come back up here, get us all bullish. And we could still be in a range, come down and make what's going to scare everybody as a head and shoulders, whether it plays out and confirms or not. So there's a lot of opportunity for them to play with our emotions and put us into a range. Now, when we make an all-time high, the best thing that we can see, if we're not going to continue going up, is to consolidate. And consolidating it above this particular fib level, that would be bullish. But I just got to reiterate, most of the times, it's usually the 382 that we're looking for to get our strong move to the upside. Rarely do we see it be this, but when it is this, it's got a blessing behind it. It's just that as it stands, I'm seeing more inclination that we're going to fall down to these areas about 105 until we see something a little bit different. It's not confirmed, but we're leaning in that direction. So do we need to make a plan for that? But I think the most compelling evidence that I can give you that, hey man, we need to be leaning a little bit more bearish than bullish to save our asses right now and take the warning signs that the charts are telling us, whether they play out or not. They're, like I said, there's no confirmation, but our early warning signals are here. These are the ones that we usually kick ourselves in the ass about a month or two down the line for not following and not listening to, because we got the hopium, right? I fall into that. I do that. This catches me almost every damn time. I'm just saying. I'm trying to finesse my strategy so it won't get me as bad, right? So I'm making efforts to take as much profit as I can on altcoins when we get some ups. You know, if they want to keep on going, hey man, I can always get in and get back in, but I can't always have something to buy a juicy dip if I don't plan ahead for it. And that's something that you gradually got to work on in your trading career. So that's the scenarios that's some of the scenarios that we're kind of seeing here. We saw a very bullish one that could take us up to all-time highs, just bouncing off of this, but losing the trend line. It's your first warning sign something's going on. I was going to take you over to the weekly, to the warning signal I'm looking for. One of them is the 9 moving average on the weekly. If we lose the 9 moving average on the weekly, your boy starts freaking out about that, because every time that we lose the 9 moving average on the weekly, here was a warning sign. We were flirting with losing it. And we kept it, but it got awfully shaky there. It can get shaky. We can lose a little bit. Usually when you lose the 9, you're targeting the 21 moving average, and if it's right there close to it, maybe you can, you know, give it some hopium and whatnot and everything, right? The 9 moving average crossing over that red line, the 21, definitely seals the fate. Confirmation, we're probably going down. So, but when we're above those 9 moving averages, it's a strong ass trend. And here when we start losing it, that started to say, hey man, something's changing here. And even though we regained it, it was a dance of just losing it in and out, in and out. It started, when you start losing the trend, well, then the trend is changing. We haven't quite done it. Here it was again too, right? Lost it, but then made a higher high, and then, you know, we lost it for real. It was flirting with losing it, but after it loses it, then it becomes a downward trend. It rides underneath the 9 moving average on a downward trend. 9 moving averages is one of the best ways, especially on the weekly, that I found, to just really nail your trends and give you the warning signs that you need. We haven't lost it yet, but we're flirting with it, and losing the trend line comes usually before losing that. So the 2 signs, that would be your second confirmation that, yeah, things are going to get gross. And the 21 moving average, ironically, as we talk about it, that's where we expect it to go. 105 at that fib level. So got some confluence down there. We could tap that, and maybe it'll hold. Maybe it will hold. We got a 0.5 here. That would be the next one, and that one's when you get a strong move up. Dow theory says retracement back 50% is normal. It's the vector candle, ladies and gentlemen. We would drop back to 50% of the vector candle, and that might be what we're looking at if we're looking on a monthly or something like that. It might be a monthly vector candle. I don't know. We could probably look at that, but in that strategy, they're always looking for the 50% retracement there because it matters. They're not looking for the 618, they're looking for the 0.5. So, scary time. Rising wedge, they have a tendency to break down. A general rule is that sometimes they break down to where they start. They don't always have to. So that's what we got going on. Now we're looking back, and I meant to do this. If we're looking at the possibility of this double top pattern, now I will say this. We take the authentic measure move here from the I'll go to the very high. If you read Thomas Bukowski, which I suggest that you do, if you are trying to be a pattern trader, because that's going to be your best guide. Everything that you need to trade this market is available for free on the internet. Hell, probably even easier going through one of the LLMs. You can probably do better there than joining that expensive trading group. At least you would get some actual insight and feeding to the questions you ask, rather than just them saying, which they often do, Google it. Well, what the hell am I here for? All right, so I'm going to take this back, and just so you can see what I'm doing here. For the Adam and Eve pattern or whatever, if that's what it is, the percentage to meet its price target is 54% according to this pattern. And I did refresh my memory on that shortly before the stream, and roughly that would shrink our measure move to about here. So if we were to apply that idea, that still does get us down here to a measured move target, which I will play here at 104.730. And just for poops and giggles, I want to label you as a Bukowski measure move, just to see what happens. We test this stuff as we go. That's how you learn and solidify it and gain trust in your system. Keep testing it, keep testing it, keep testing it. All right, so Bitcoin, we're going to come down on the juicy small time frames now and see what the hell's going on. And here on my little tiny 6-minute time frame, see that we've lost. We're below our little magical Fibonacci area, so she's playing with us losing that. Now that was it on the bigger. I'm also looking at another Fibonacci area on the smaller time frame, and it's an 886 area. It's a little bit higher. That was where we should have bounced if we were going to play with that idea, and it looked hopeful, but you lost it. Let me clear this. Can we just clear this whole chart out? Do I want to do that? Yeah, let's just do that. So this idea was we were looking at this move here. and that was where we were needing it. And I'm not saying that lightly. 786, possible. 886, deep ass retracement. Now we got this one on the table. And now we got 108 on the table. Now we could be setting up for... It pulls back to the 382. It comes up for a higher high there. And then we'll be looking for a possible... Oh, snap. Am I coming with the 4 and 4? We're looking down. Yeah, I'm kind of looking down these areas. I don't think this pattern is perfect on that. And actually, that was doing on the local. Let me get you out here. I'm playing with some ideas here. See if I get some confluence on those ideas. Okay. Okay, I'm not seeing it there. Okay, well, maybe that's cool. I'm looking for any kind of harmonic pattern up here with the M shapes, because usually they can fall in some harmonic. Anyway, that's getting to some stuff that would probably be a lot of confusion to a lot of people. Hell, it's even confusing to me a lot of times. The easiest thing is trend line. But we were looking at the smaller move here. We lost our areas here, our 886 area. We lost that. That was this guy here. Now maybe we can finagle around and reclaim it, and that's still got a chance to happen there. The 800 moving average on this, I'm on the 2-hour time frame now. There's some hope, and even the moving averages are suggesting we can come back to 117 over here. So locally, I'm still looking at this particular chart and this area to see if we can recover it. But on the bigger scheme, oh man, did I erase it? The bigger scheme still comes over here with the bigger Fibonacci pull in that red line. So really, I think the red line will give me a lot more information. And we're losing that little sucker too. The biggest thing is whether we get below here, 111.7. Do we drop below that? So our options are, she may just be taking us down here, and we start finding support there, and maybe it's trying to make some kind of double bottom situation here, ranging, if you will. If we are in a range, though, if that's what it's going to try to do and range through here, hey man, we can wick down lower and still recover that. Okay, and that could be the little spring idea. You could be seeing that happen tomorrow. If this is like a Wyckoff reaccumulation, which is another theory we got, when we go out of markup phase, that's when we're rising up and everybody loves to be in the market when the things are going up, and we come to these areas over here at tops, right, and it goes through a distribution phase. That's what this would have been over here, distribution, because we lost it. But sometimes it goes through accumulation, like what it did over here. This was a reaccumulation event over here in your Wyckoff frame of reference, and it ended up just being a range. And then it had this juicy spring, and then another one that came down and surprised us all. But this was, they like to come out of the little box area, go and freak everybody out, because people say, oh, it's below my level, I'm going to short, entice people to short bottoms. They hope they're turning into resistance, and then that's how they get you. That same way they get us on the top, same way they get us on the tops, just like they did over here. You get the little trading range that you're in, and then they break to the upside. That's all new time high, yeah. And then, and you got some strategies out there that say buy the breakout. We're going to buy it. We're going to wait. That's the sad thing, is that we wait until we clear and get confirmation we're above, and then. But there's strategies out there. It's behind the breakout, and that's one of the. I hate it. I don't do it. I don't long here. I try not to log here. I'm not going to say I haven't. Sometimes I've taken that, you know, it does look bullish at the time. All right, I'll maybe add my position. I usually regret it, usually every time I play that, so I don't try to play those. You did the same thing over here, man. Wicked out of this little range area here. And then it would have made a higher high, and then we did all this stuff. See how they play with us? So this turned out being a distribution rather than a reaccumulation. This was a reaccumulation, right? And they came down here to these little areas wicked out, and even twice here. And they were planning, they were buying, they were accumulating, they're getting ready for it and pumping us up. Oh, yeah, in this area, let me get this little guy off of here. Was the same story. They're kind of got that same setup right now. So what's it going to do? Are we going to range? Are we going to lose it? Is it going to be distribution? Since it's going up like that, there's a little call of warning that this might be distribution. And that, yeah, we might be coming down for a little season. I mean, we stayed through here for a long time. So this is a great area for us to find support down at 105. And hopefully we don't have to wick down here again to 100, but it's on the table, definitely on the table. So just in essence, we don't know. They got us right where they want us. We're like bent over a barrel. I mean, it could turn out to be really good. Everybody getting scared for no reason, that the cycle is going right along according to plan, and we are still in the middle of a parabolic move, and bouncing off this area would just make that parabolic move come a lot sooner. Or we could be coming down to a safer area and still do that parabolic move. However, it's going to take longer since we broke a damn trend line. I don't like it taking longer. I've finagled with this trend line because it's got a little bit of wiggle room in it, but still, we've still broken it, even with all the wiggle room I can afford to give it. We broke that little sucker. We are having to make plans at this time to cover your ass in case things go south. Again, the biggest warning sign that I've got to show you is not yet confirmed, but these are when you want to start taking in consideration that, man, she might be getting ready to roll over here, right? And that's not fun. I've always regretted not listening to it. And the first times on the weekly, when you're watching the MACD, the first times that you want to start listening to what this little guy is saying is when the histogram starts turning light. Every time it starts turning light, that's the warning sign. The catch is, if they're trying to fake us out, look, it looked like it was going to do this a few weeks ago, and we talked about it, right, man? The warning sign is starting to look a little, and then everything got okay again. That can happen again. So the confirmation comes with the cross. If you see that, I highly advise you to de-risk on Bitcoin and altcoins because it's going to get nasty. Not financial advice, just past experience in crypto and a plan that I'm still trying to do, because when we go bearish, we go bearish. This is what it was like last time. Oh snap, what am I drawing there? Get that off of there. Alright, so put you up, MACD. This was the first warning sign of the crossing here. And she went to all-time highs, and you're like, oh man, MACD, we're going to walk it off. It's a lagging indicator. That's the first excuse you hear. It's a lagging indicator, so it don't know yet. I mean, it'll just flip bullish, fall price. That's what it's going to. Nope, that was your first warning sign. MACD ain't going to lie. She's a lagging indicator. She got all that momentum behind her. You can't stop a rolling train. Well, you can. Okay, and we seen it happen here. But that's the first signal, and then when it crossed, that was it. This was the crossing. This was the first warning signal. We still went up. This was the second warning signal, and we're hanging tight, and we're waiting to see if we get the cross. If we get the cross, yeah, how would you like to have more of this stuff coming on down? What would that be like? What would that be like? I can give you a little example here. We'll take the bars pattern. Shoot, let's take this bars pattern on up. That's not the bars pattern, silly. Let's Let's take a little fractal and see where it says that we might be able to go, just based on this move here. Last time we did it. And oh my gosh, 88,000, that would freak a lot of people out. That would freak a lot of people. That would freak me out. I ain't planning for that crap. Hard to believe that we'd do that. I mean, a lot of people would be here to buy in these areas, I do believe. And I think it'd be quickly snatched up the closer we come to 100,000. That's what we've seen in the past. People love to buy the Bitcoin at $100,000 as like psychological support. So there's our warning signs that we're still doing, and I'm back on the daily now, and we're in this big fat Ichimoku cloud, which is a warning sign because she can often spit us out to the other side. Now the good things I like over here, that the 9 hasn't crossed bearishly over any of the other moving averages yet, but that changes, right? The more price goes down, the moving averages follow price, for the average prices, and then we will get those bearish crosses, and that just adds to more negative momentum when those crosses come. It sucks that here on the daily we lost a 50 moving average. We shouldn't have done that. That is your sign. This trend is suffering. This trend is going through something. We normally do not lose the 50 unless we're trying to do some ranges or go down. So again, they got us bent over a barrel, in my personal opinion, holding us hostage, holding my money hostage, and I don't like it. I'm going to come over to the chat and talk to you guys right now. 14 people hanging out with me. And from here, we'll probably take a look at Total 3 and some of the altcoins and try to figure this little guy out. Until then, I do want to come back in 6 minutes because right now she's trying to dump on her asses again. Is that purple line? Is that my little line in the sand? I need to change that on this chart. Let's go take you over to a gray line here and make you big and fat so I can't miss you. You're not gray. There we go. That way when I come down to the 6 minute, I know where I'm looking at. Man, we need to start seeing something happen here. The Ichimoku cloud on this small time frame is thickening up, so maybe that will go in our favor. That's one thing that I look at. These moving averages, they're bearish as if. Totally bearish cross happened right here. 800, 600, 360, 200, 150. They're all in bearish consecutive order. We've got another flippening. It already flipped before, but it was trying to undo it here. That failed. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's been rough trading. It's been rough watching this. It's been rough watching people call flags to the upside all through this choppy range. And today I finally heard this flag to the upside person admitting that his flags weren't playing out. And I'm like, well, hey, genius, you're in range. That's not really the place you want to look for flags now, is it? And talking about the 1 minute 200 moving average has not been working out. And I'm kind of like, well, hey, genius, it doesn't work out good in a range. I'm just saying. And you can, hopefully they can learn that when you're in a range, man. Your 200 moving average strategy, I'm sorry, it's Chop City, and that's how they take your money and get you in Chop City. I bitch a lot about flags because I see that just be the go-to pattern out there taught to look for. And we're in a bullish market overall, and that can work, and that's probably how they learn and all they know and what they're teaching. And they do work in a nice up trend, especially if you're coming off of the bottom areas and stuff like that, especially rounded bottoms. But they don't work for every time, and they definitely don't work good at resistance or in chop. Chop, if we go from swing high to our current low areas here that we were looking at, we got new ones now. So we have not touched bottom. I'm going to assume we're down here, and it does look like that is where we're headed to touch that little guy now. It does look, according to the fibs here, just in retrospect, if we're kind of front running this, I know it's kind of weird. This is how fibs. This is unorthodox, but we're predicting that it's going to come back down to here. We're just taking that from high to low, just to kind of see where we might find some possible resistance. We're front running the fibs, and this is just for hopium, just to see if this is since we don't know. But I do look over here and see how these things line up, and that suggests maybe maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. If it is, then we got to work past 114, and we got to get past 118, or else we're still in trouble of coming down here to these areas. So we got our work cut out, and that we got to come back and make that higher high is what it's already telling me. If this fib structure turns out to be true, I want to take it off because it's not there. I don't want to. That's just a little speculative way to use the fib. It's not the best way or the smartest way, but we're going to get some insight. And it did have some nice characteristics. So maybe let's see if we can get a bounce right here. That's what I'm looking for, and we should see it happen pretty shortly because we're almost there, baby. We're almost there. Might even see it while we're on stream tonight. In the meantime, we probably need to take a look at altcoins and see how they're doing over here. 14 people hanging out with me. Thank you so much for being here. What the hell are we listening to? Well, if we're in a bearish mood, let's get some of the let's get the bear, the moody vibes for it. Yeah. Whoops. All right, let me come over. Albie says, the flags are not playing out. You better learn some Bukowski. That's yes, I agree with that entirely. I can't emphasize this enough. From what I've seen in trading groups and everywhere else, it's a bunch of regurgitated information just passed down. A lot of it is like that little game you used to play in school where you're standing in a line, you whisper a secret in somebody's ear, it gets passed down to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. By the time it finally gets down to the end, it's usually totally off base. That's why solid resources are important and not just taking somebody's. Though I've seen it many times. It feels like it's a bit of this, it's a bit of that, it's a bit of this. If you some good resources, and the best one for pattern trading that I've found is Thomas Bukowski. Now, if you don't want to pay $100 or something for his books, some of them are $500 when they're out of print. I know, I collect them, and you can get all the information over here on this very late 1994 designed throwback retro website here. It gets so much great reviews on its authentic web design here. Yeah, it takes you back to the pre-HTML days here, but by gosh darn it, it's good. So you can go to chart patterns there, and if you know the names, which we're starting out, you probably don't know the names. But if you hear the names, at least you can, like if you hear somebody talk about a falling wedge, you can go over here and click on falling wedge and find out all the stuff. Do you guys know a falling wedge is usually an ABC correction on Elliott wave? Did you guys know? Okay, well, anyway, there's some ideas. But one of the things over here that they got, and I get nothing from this, this is just one of the sites for pattern trading that changed my life instead of listening to those gurus that are not using, they're kind of sloppy, but that's how they've been trained, right? Down, 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 mentor to mentor to mentor. You can go to this index, and there's a pick index right here. I know it's kind of outdated, but at least you can look at the designs and say, oh, this is what we're kind of shaping up to. Oh, it's curvy. Oh, it's got a point. Oh, it's kind of, that's a diamond. So they can help you do that. But this is where you get your statistics, the percentage of breakouts, how they perform, the percentage to meet a price target. They don't always meet the measured move. It may only be a 50 or 60% of that. If you know that, that gives you an edge that your 1 minute flag chasing guru is not aware of. The biggest mistake that I see that the pattern trader gurus make is that they don't respect trend lines, which is what makes a pattern to begin with, is a trend line, right? That's all a pattern is a trend line. They make the mistake of not zooming out. They're just always zooming in and looking for whatever happens. And sometimes that's why you see that things don't work out. They don't see that there's a trend line cutting right through the middle of their flag. And I bitch about this a lot. I'm sorry. But hopefully it will help some people out that need to hear it, that might be paying all that good money to be told, and they're sitting there wondering, why am I in this group and I'm not making any money? Why are these setups not working out for me? But dude over here sets up this nice little trade setup, and he's out. And I thought we were going to Target. No, I'm out. That's it. Took my money. Oh, you didn't? Well, that's bad. Too bad for you. Join my group. So you either want to follow somebody's every move, copy trade. I don't know. Anyway, not trying to get off the subject. But come back to the chat. Flags got me caught out there with the clown guy. I can see that. I can tell you a lot. We need an interview with Bukowski. A turkey and a bull. Oh man. I think I would be in what is that? Starstruck. I'd be, oh my God, it's Thomas. That's really Thomas Bukowski. Thomas, what do you eat for breakfast? I want to eat it. Yeah. Do you drink one lemon water? I would be starstruck on him. Alve says, oh my God, MACD looks eerie. Give her the medicine road. That MACD's on the weekly is nothing to. I have learned from that's it. Don't fade that MACD on that weekly. Don't fade that 9-moving average on the weekly. Don't fade that weekly chart. That weekly chart is here to guide us. That's probably the most important chart that we can look at here. Ami Medina, $2 super chats for some good ass coffee. Thank you, my man. Thank you for supporting the channel there. Oh yeah, I don't have do we have hand clappies on this? We're in a different room. We're not in our normal set. We're in the lounge, the more chill area. I don't have as many bells and whistles over here. But thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate that. Let me come back to the chat and actually do the chat. We got Duality C in the house. Melis Williams, glad to have you guys here. Reese John. Holy donkey balls. We got Joe from Trade Intuition, fellow YouTuber over here. Let's go give him a shout out. Meet Damien just got off of a live stream there. Had a good stream over there. There were questions about Fibonacci over there. It got kind of interesting, and all I got to say is that I learned it one way, and it was hard to find good information about Fibonacci. I had to dig deep to learn what I learned. And I know other people that I respect, other chartists, that only do it one way, same way that I originally learned that. You can read it that way, you can interpret that way. I just found what I believe is a more advanced way, which I teach, but I don't condemn anybody for how they do. If you're using fibs, you're getting some insight out of it. It just depends on how deep you want to go down that rabbit hole, in my opinion. And Joe from Trade Intuition over here. And go check him out. Yeah, he went live 2 hours ago. What was that? Catching some of that, and then went over and saw Meet Damien. And we're just hanging out. Everybody waiting for tomorrow, right? Wow. Watch them dumping us here on the 6-minute time frame. Back to the chat. Bingo on the Bago says Edgar Rojas. Rojas, how's it going, my man? Good to see you back here. Abe says, I was like, I bet Road Dogg is on, and here it is. Telepathy works. I sent him out. I'm going live. By the way, nice stream. What are your computer specs? I need one like this. I don't know what you're asking for. My computer specs? My computer, it was really blazing when I first got it, but you know, I gotta say, it's not so blazy anymore. Where is that? That should be over here. I'm trying to, anywhere. What are my computer specs? I got a gaming computer, so I thought, well, that should do my streaming. This is what I got. I got lots of storage on these little flash drives mostly. So graphics card's got 16 gigabytes, and I thought it's a GeoForce RTX 4060 Ti. I assume that's really good. I assume that's decent. Installed RAM. I put extra RAM in this, so I'm stumped why I still see this stuff eat up all my RAM. I thought I had enough. I guess maybe I got to go more. And I got a 13th generation Intel Core i7, whatever, all that. I don't even know how this stuff rates anymore. Operating on Windows 11. We don't do Apple around here, unfortunately. So, I was not expecting such an early stream, says Sport PC Guy. Nice. Chat GPT. For the Google it, yeah. Actually, you know, man, AI is You can probably get a really good education out of AI based on whatever trader that you're trying to study under, or study about, like Bukowski or WD Gann and stuff like that. I mean, I think you can get a better start with AI now than I think you can a trading group, to be honest with you. Or some of the trading groups. The trading groups I found are really more about community and sharing, and sharing information. I haven't found them to be that great for actually teaching. It seems like people want to join a group to be part of the winning club, but when it comes to actually going through all the videos that teach and all that stuff that, as a creator, we put too much damn time in for it not to get views, so therefore we don't do it anymore. It's kind of like women. When you go talk to them, they tell you to go away. Eventually, you just like, okay, I'm just not going to come up and say hi to you anymore. You're going to look at me that way. I was just going to say hi. I wasn't going to ask you out. I was just say, hey, hi. Oh, who are you? The dude that is walking away from a crazy bitch. That's who I am. All right, I'm kidding. I'm being stupid. I'm just being stupid. It says hit the, but how do we get on that again? Oh my gosh, pardon me guys, but I do have some good ass coffee, if you don't mind, but I didn't bring it with me and I feel that I need it. So I'm gonna take, if you don't mind. We don't have it on here. I don't have the big ass coffee thing. Give me just a moment while I get up in my very classy suit jacket that I dress up for every day and my pajama bottoms and go get my coffee. Apparently, our great turkey brain forgot to bring our coffee downstairs with us, so I guess I'll drink Skittle water. Clear Marshmallow says, Ave, you deserve a trophy. Board PC guy says, so what I'm hearing is a huge leverage small margin short to the 2.0 line. maybe. These are not the areas that I like to short. I don't like it. Some people do. Some people and it may be fun. And you can make an argument, right? Bears retested that fib area. It would be front running because you don't have a confirmation for the double top. I'd say you'll start seeing a lot more shorts happen here. And still, for me, I take a different look when it comes to shorting the market. My take on shorts is like, you should be looking for shorts at places that you would be looking to take profit, like at pivot levels, like up here, swing failure pattern. A lot of people did take that. A lot of people have that strategy to look for that. And you go and you look and like, oh my God, they got such a great entry. My experience with that is most of the time, you go through a bunch of chop after you short, and it's hard, and you can get stopped out because you want to, do the right thing. You don't have as confidence in it, and you can get stopped out here with this wick, and then you missed everything because, well, you're don't have the conviction, to put the stop loss way up here where you could really lose some money and give it the room that it needs, and just to hold on to a trade, a short when it's starting from up there. But clearly, you look at the chart, the best places, the short are the tops, right? Shorts, when we break a trend line, those are the ideas, which we did break it. So clearly taking that idea over here about 116, that could have been, but that's still, that's not even my favorite places. I like to short the tops if I'm going to try to do it, but it's hard. Or when we come back for a retest, like we come back for a retest here, come back for a retest here. All these little toppy areas there are all around the top of a trend line. Are good areas to try to short if that's what you're leaning to. But to short down here, that's because it could easily flip. The odds are it's almost like buying the tops, in my personal opinion. Down here, it would be like me buying right here if I were to start shorting here. That's how I look at it. So I don't try to do it because I've just had my ass handed to me too many times. We got some support here at the 300, the magical 360 moving average, just right below our confirmation line. So I honestly, what I'm expecting to happen, what I think will happen just based on what I see on the moving averages, is that we will get a little bit of a pump back up, psych people out, get the people who might be trying to go short here, and probably wick down a little bit and then come back up. And then again, we're looking at, and once we confirm our bottom, I'm looking at the Fibonacci's. Most notably this one over here, if this happens to be where we are, the 0.5, the same situation, and the 382. If we can't get past those two, we're in danger of coming even lower, and I might pay a little bit more attention to 382, but definitely that 0.5 is the main one that kind of confirms it for me. And that's exactly what we did over here. We didn't make it past our 0.5, and then we found ourselves coming down more. Did you do 0.5? Was it here? So we went from our we gotta go a smaller time frame to see this idea, and this is what I do when we get these little drops. This might be helpful for somebody if you're doing the fist full and high to low, and we're seeing on the retest, like we already got a sign we lost a trend line, but we got another one down here, which we did come down to, right? And when we fall from there and we get a bottom and we can't close past that 0.5, where does it take us? It takes us down to this area here, even on the smaller ones. And we came down to about our 1.5 areas, on down into a full retracement down to the 618, and that's strong. I usually don't look for that, and we did it because we're usually not bullish enough or bearish enough or whatever. The trend's not usually strong enough to actually get those levels, but it did, right? But the thing about it is the 0.5, I found that one's special, where I can get some nice reliable measure moves on some of these other ones. On the 0.5, man, that one can truck. It can go some distance. It can go to a 2.236 fib area, which I don't even have marked on here. So that one can get a little crazy. That's one reason why I look at the 0.5s and see what they're doing there. It gives me oh man, things could be getting crazy. All right, so that happened there. And then what about this one? From this high to this low, and that's where we got this line here. 0.5 came up to the 0.5, couldn't get past it. Now we're in danger of coming down to this little lower thirds area, or even lower. So I mean, it's kind of like chasing flags, I guess, in a way. Everyone's one little thing, but that's one way that we can monitor it. I don't say make your plans by this. Zoom out, get the bigger fibs, the bigger ideas to make your plans, but you can fiddle around, and this just kind of gives you more faith and confidence in here. So ironically, from that fib pull, the same area that we're looking at to confirm our double bottom is also a good bounce area at the 0.113 Fibonacci. And like I said, with the 0.5, I don't so much look at these. I mean, I want to look at these, but I do know that 0.5 can blast through these guys, and we could see lower here. So let's see what we get there, and let's see what we get at 0.27. Although if we with the 0.5 one, there's some, I'd be looking right around here. I don't have the line on here, but I'd be looking at the 1.5 definitely, or zero, negative 0.5. I got the 4.1 right here, so we'll draw a little box. We could be looking down here if this area does not hold, and on the bigger picture we know a lot further is coming down, right? 104, if that possibly. However, with that 113 area here, that kind of gives me credence that we might actually respect this. We come up again, and then we'll have to pull our fib again, look for that 0.5, which takes us up here about 117, 118. That's the little basics of the Fibonacci stuff on the shorter term ranges I'm getting at for my TA. any gleam of hope here on the 1 hour that we might also come back up here is that if we look at our bigger moving averages, they have not crossed bearish yet. The 600, well, the 800, those got some work to do, but the 360 is still above the 800. It's a little sign of hopium, that we might range back up here. No guarantees though. Meanwhile, let's check out a few altcoins if you don't mind. Are there shorts possible for altcoin? Well, if the market tanks, then hell yeah. And some of the good ones that might be worth looking at are some of the ones that are up quite a bit. So we got Chainlink, which is possibly making a double top here, maybe. That wick was higher than this one. Technically, you're still going to higher high, higher low. Same thing for Bitcoin. It's true for Bitcoin. We had a higher high. We still got a higher low. Until. But we hadn't broken this trend line, so maybe. Ichimoku Cloud looks bullish. Altcoins don't look as bearish right now. I think that's crazy. But it doesn't mean that they won't, okay? Let's come to the daily over here, Chainlink. Oh my gosh, are you freaking for real? So stochastics are coming down, money flow's going up, and you got the green dot just threatening on Chainlink today when Bitcoin is threatening just to go back down to 100,000. I mean, it's kind of it's just lightly throwing out that threat. But Chainlink's saying, screw that, I don't give a crap about Bitcoin, I'm ready to go up. It can invalidate. It can. There's some bearish divergence signs over here. It's what these little red dots over here mean. And here's a bearish divergence here, which, maybe it's played out, maybe it's not. Stochastics coming to the downside. That's interesting. Money flow in the green. Man, that's good. I don't care what you say. It's going up. Let's look on the 4 hour. 4 hours looking a little shaky. If I look at my moving averages, Chainlink looks strong. Breaking the trend line might give you an idea to short. Trying to short from up here at 26, that would have been the best, but man, it'd be hard to play that. That'd be confident in that. What do you look like on the weekly Chainlink? This is the MACD on Chainlink. Looks pretty bullish. This is the market cipher on the weekly Chainlink. Looks pretty bullish, to be honest with you. Money flow coming up. I know stochastics are buried up here at 100%. They can only go down from here, you would think, but no, that's not true. They can go sideways where price just keeps piling up. Let's see if that's what happened over here. I'll show you a good example of that. Where money flow was going up, everything's going up, but the stochastics topped out, man. They're going to turn down in a minute. Oh no, you better sell. What happened during that little window? That was all the fun, man. Stochastics got buried at the top 100% the whole time, and price just kept moving up. Same thing can happen on the way down. They can get buried on the bottom and price just keep dropping. It's like, well, stochastics is at the bottom, let's go ahead and jump in. No, you gotta wait till it starts turning around. That's the rule. I think, man, that's a hellacious move for it to lock that sucker in. On stochastics. And could we be doing that again? That would be bitchin' AF. Chainlink, are you about ready to blow my mind? I've got sell orders all the way up here to around $37, $38. Just in case she wants to do that. I don't see a short ready for Chainlink. I'm sorry to say, I don't see the setup for a short. Let's take a look at another one that's also strong. And so is this a sign that maybe tomorrow's going to be nothing? This is just a fake out for that. It could be. You can find little signs on the charts like this. Why are these other coins being so bullish when Bitcoin looks like it's about to fall off a peak? Don't make no sense, does it? And here we are on the 4 hour for API 3, which was sitting at 84 cents just a few days ago, like the 18th. And then all of a sudden, it decides to go up for 100% gains from there. Oh my gosh, was there anything there that was kind of telling us Something like that could happen. Was there? What the hell is this? Do we have a... I don't know what the hell that was. That's probably old. Was there anything that could have told us that? Personally, I like the little roundy shape that we're getting there. A lot of people will be looking inverted head and shoulder. Yeah, and that could be a valid idea too. But I like the kind of the roundy. And it may be hard to see. I don't know. Is it from here to there? You can kind of see the little roundingness. Rounded bottoms pay the bills. Did it make an Adam and Eve? I guess you can squint your eyes, and a lot of times on some of these patterns, you might have to squint your eyes a little bit. Patterns do not play out perfectly to the pictures, and if we can try to get ourselves to expect it. Well, it doesn't look exactly like the picture. It didn't do that. It doesn't have to. They can be sloppy from that, but you don't want to be too sloppy. Anyway, I've voiced my rules for pattern training on how to identify patterns. I try to quit doing that so much. So can we break back in past this trend line that we kind of broke? That'd be bullish AF. It might happen. We got the 9 over the 360. That's a bullish cross, as long as it doesn't lose it. Or could she just come on back down? Well, that would be wasting all that effort if you're just going to get rejected there with this nice little bottom pattern. Well, it looks like it's confirmed. Can't believe I'm sitting here being bullish on the coin while Bitcoin is flirting with just going down to 100,000. Possible. I'm not saying it will, but this is a bearish formation here, that rising channel, and making a pennant. Let's see what happens here. So well, that one's strong when everything else is kind of down. Ultima, I'm not even in on this one. This is over here on MEXC. Look at that for today here on the 2 hour. Tackling the 800 moving average here, getting a nice flip of these lower moving averages down here. You got a rip and flip of that. Just got to convince these bigger ones to come on board. So there's a good chance this one might be coming back down to what is this? Ultima? What the hell is this? Why are you so expensive? Fewer coins, I suspect. $4,200 area. It's at 58.49. Why are nobody ever talks about Ultima? What the hell? So Ultima was up here at $22,000. We looked at it. She went over to our reversal pivot points, got it in that little zone perfectly between the 113 and the 1272 fibs from this pull, low to high. Gave us our targets, and then she did what she does after that. It reversed. It went hard. So we're looking at some resistance over here somewhere around this 100 moving average and $7,000 area for Ultima. This might be a nice little zone to start looking at, trying to build a little bag of this guy. That's too expensive. So if this is our bottom, and it could be, even though it's a little bit lower than that one, it could be, or we could be working on a much lower one, getting rejected here. But I need to see you get past our 236 fib area here. From swing high to swing low, and there is some confluence with this being this little inverted head and shoulder kind of pattern that it did before it broke up and went to 22,000. Interesting one to put on a radar here. If she can get back down to these areas, about 42, 44, somewhere through there, I gotta see what this one is. I'm sorry, I have to take a moment. I feel like are we missing out on something we need to know about? Its market cap is 222 million, still a small market cap coin. Yet it is so freaking expensive. Why is that? Because there's only 100,000 of them, meaning this can see some numbers. If this gets hype and gets people following it, this one can shoot up probably to 50,000 really quick. As crazy as that is, what's your narrative? Ultima is a powerful cryptocurrency ecosystem centered on the Ultima token. Our ecosystem unites a range of innovative products, modern crypto wallets, blah blah blah. So are you for real? Do you got some momentum behind you, a reason for people to come over and start using your chain versus the others, or are you just trying to be appealing just to get the money grab? Well, it's created by a team of experienced engineers. Well, I would hope so. Their goal is to trade a way people interact with cryptocurrency around the world and provide them with instant access to cross-border payments and crypto. Yeah, that narrative has been tackled a while by several projects. What makes you different? I want a crypto debit card. Wow, I like that. You got to sign up and sign in to the website. I wonder what that's about. The Ultima card, breakthrough in cryptocurrency debit card industry. So it's a debit card. I like the debit cards. They're getting the credit cards out now. Now I used to bitch, well, why don't you offer a credit card? But I got used to the debit card, and debit card's a smarter way to go. I'm just telling you, you don't want to get into all the credit. You'll let your little DJ come out and say, well, I'll go ahead and charge it, and that's all right. We'll take some winnings from our... No. Oh, you can check. Oh, look. Oh, you got me. You want no card though. I'd like to get debit cards. I want some exit liquid. I want ways to exit and use my profits easily and pay bills and stuff like that. So the debit cards, wherever you get them, you definitely want to get you a stack of those. I got one of the crypto.com. Oh, look. Take me back to the jewelry days. What is? Wait a minute. Oh, this is the ecosystem. What is this? Jewelry is a platform for anyone to purchase jewelry playing with Ultima tokens. Man, you sound... I mean, maybe it's a good idea, but I don't know. I have to look into this more to see if it's like really usable. But the tokenomics look interesting to me. And the tokenomics look like this little guy could take off. It's got the appeal to have a hype and a narrative regardless if it's usable or not. And sadly, that's all you need to do have to make money in crypto is a belief. Huh, okay, Ultima. Waves has been doing good. Now, Waves is like a little, I think it's a Russian project if I remember right. And for some reason, instead of being under $1, where it usually likes to hang around, it used to be around 70 something cents at some time, right? Yeah, this 80 cent area over here. Haven't looked at this one in a minute. She used to hang around $1 or something, $1.40, back where she was now. This was back in 2023. Got even lower, which did not make my bags happy. This one used to be a favorite of the trading group I used to be in last cycle. The mentor loved Waves. I guess he made a lot of money off of Waves, but you know, is it as good this cycle as last cycle when... What the hell? Did you really? You went up to $63? Clearly I wasn't in it when it happened. No wonder he called that a face melter. Can you melt faces again? I'd like to have my face melted. I'd like to see my portfolio melt my face today, but it's just not wanting to do it. I keep putting my face out there and say, melt my face portfolio, and it's like, nah, I'll pass. I'm like, you suck. There's a sucky portfolio if you're not going to melt my face. So nice little triangle pattern forming here. Bring us back up. Possible butt crack, double bottom situation. 270 for Waves would be where we need to go and get higher. Some resistance over here at this area 168. It's just amazing to me that you're up here and not down here, especially when everything else is doing things. And looking on the weekly, you got the bullish divergence, so that kind of helps explain some of the narrative rise in money flow. Why are you looking so good? Money flow in the green anywhere? It is on the daily, and stochastics are coming down, so are you getting tired finally? Are you finally getting... Yeah, it's about time, baby. So this one might be pulling back. And if it remains bearish, then we should get a bounce somewhere around 124, 125. If that breaks, then we gotta start looking at 103 and maybe down to 93 again. But I'm surprised on how many of these are really bullish. And look at this, man. I mean, this is a support resistance area. So where is that? 128? May not even get below that if that holds. Crazy. OKB, another one that is doing really good while the market is trying to take us around us. $217, and just a few days ago it was 124. Explain this to me. Well, I feel like I missed out. It was $45. I was in this a couple of years ago and I was working on a position, but I think I had to switch exchanges and then I couldn't use this anymore or have availability to it. So I just got out of that. But it looked like a strong coin back then. Although in reality, she just went flat for the longest. Until that one day, she decided not to do it anymore. It's $25, $35. Now she's $200. These are the things that we want to see our altcoins do, man. So are there any sign? There's anything to look at for something like that? Well, I was hoping. I mean, when I zoomed out, I mean, she looked kind of flat, and that's one thing to look for is flat bottoms. I wouldn't call it a flat bottom though. I mean, what do we got here? What's the past tell us on make? That was so gorgeous. So is this where we can maybe find some support? 103? Or you're going to come all the way back down here to $51? That would be crazy. That is absolutely nuts. If you're not taking profits in this, I'm going to say, well, you know, what the hell's wrong with you? The 4 hours telling you, hey man, you might want to get paid. We got the first little histogram here on the 4 hour. Last time he had that little histogram there on the 4 hour. What did that do for you? It went up a little and then she started coming down a little. Can't go broke getting paid, especially when you make that gains. Gosh, shout out to anybody that's gotten an OKB and played that one. Y'all nailing it. It's already past this. It's right here. Trying to find some support, maybe? Or is that resistance? Probably resistance at the moment. At 217 right here. That was his previous spike up. That was August 3rd. Oh, you did this before? I didn't know that. So just last week it pumped up here and then came all the way back down to $100. Man, that would have been the time to get in on this one. Gosh darn it. Wasn't even looking at it. You can't miss it today because right here it is on the weekly bubbles. Can't miss that. This is what we're looking like on the daily with our altcoins, starting to give back the gains, starting to grow. We're up about 3 to 4% yesterday, I believe, and now we're just giving it back on a lot of these, except for OKB, top 100. 10 people hanging out with me. I appreciate you being here. Qtum was another one I was going to look at. I haven't looked at that one in a while, but apparently she's having a good day, or a couple of good days. It was down at 205, now it's at 232, so little come up there. What the hell is that? I guess I have looked at Qtum. It's been a minute. How old is all this stuff? I'm gonna go ahead and take this. Is like it was over here in these areas. It may still be valid, but I like to update my TA. So Qtum's still in the very bottom. This is not a coin that I'm planning on being in, but she did good last cycle, getting up to some juicy areas in the $30 and stuff, and now it's a fraction of that. And maybe we'll get something different. I mean, it did it here. This is what it did before. Okay, let's look at Qtum. This was 2018. She came down. She did a lot of what she's doing right now. Exactly what she's doing right now. All these little rounded scallops and spikes up and bringing it all the way back down. Ranges somewhere. You could have 5x within this range here. I mean, you'd have to wait a long time between places to get it. But I mean, that was the range, a 500% range. And then it goes ballistically freaking crazy after that. And here we are again. And not only that, it made a higher high. That was kind of impressive. And here we are again. Making a nice little scallop. Possible double bottom shapes down here. And wow. Makes me, I mean, I know she's up today, but on the bigger picture of things, it makes me kind of want to put this one on my radar if we get another little pullback here. we can get back to around, well, I mean, even now it's not too far. Somewhere in this $2 range, I might want to throw me just a little bit in there. If I threw about $500 in there or something and just let it sit, could it 10x, give me $5,000 sometime over the next few months? These are things I'll kind of look at. Cute, I would put that one on my radar. There was a way that we could add this. Can we do it here? Used to, it was easy to add these things to my little wish list thing over here on the side, or watch list. And now I got to do it this way. That makes it harder for me to pick the one I really want, but okay, so we got Qt. I'm going to add Qtum over here. I'm going to venture away and I'm going to take a look at a stock right now. This is MicroStrategies, and I'm looking over at it on the Pith, the tokenized version over here, but the price is at 337. MicroStrategies. She's failing a little too. I was starting to get a little piffed on this one. I've got sell orders. I got a few sell orders here in case we come back. I'm taking profits on it. But I was doing my TA on it last night, and I noticed that we do have a higher high target, 598. So I'd probably be limiting out through these prices through here on this one. But she's starting to look a weak, and I'm starting to wonder, man, because they're offering other little products. They're kind of doing like a little DeFi play on it, and from what I've seen, that's just a way to squeeze more money out. So I don't think it's going to be. I'm starting to think we might start seeing a little less. I mean, Bitcoin has been up, man. Bitcoin's been going up, and MicroStrategies has been coming down. All right, something's changing over here. Something's not having as much value over here versus something like the Van Eck Bitcoin Trust or something, right? At least it's starting to gradually come up. This one's $31 right now, and I thought, well, I'll try to pick up a share or two of that over there, so I'm playing that one. Toncoin, since we get back to crypto over here, $3. Ton shall hit 420, then I will also. What? Apparently we were on the 420 up there. You got a 420 target, never manifested itself. That's the 382 Fibonacci up there. All right, so we lost this. That's resistance. Have we got anything else? We got that. Now we're at resistance there. I'll be looking at that idea. This, if I continue bringing my little trend line over, she's not lining up as well. Well, maybe toward the, yeah, now we're getting, well, maybe. Let's see if we can get back and impress me, get above this trend line. See if you can make a little bear trap idea. I got 1, 2 bottom touches, and 3 if you count this one. Ton. Moving averages look interesting here on the 4 hour. MNT, this is I think Mantle, is that right? This is it on the daily. Nice little bump up there. If you're not thinking about taking profit, if you're in this one not taking profits, well, then I don't know if I can help you, man. You just, she's still strong, still above the daily non-moving average, so, but she's hit the she's back within underneath her 886. She lost 886, and now we're between those two. Maybe there's another move up. Maybe there's not, and if there's not, you're going to be looking back, oh man, I was there, I should have took it up, my bags are up because I was down here 59 cents getting in somewhere around 60 cents, and now we doubled up. Moonbag it, baby, moonbag it. You got no worries from there. If we go from wiki to wikis, draw a trend line, you see we closed a candle body below that. Looks like. Are we? I think we have now. And it could be rolling over. It could be the early stages of the rollover, as we're starting to see here on the 4 hour. Also making an Adam and possible Adam and Eve inverted top, if you want to look at it. Just a double top. It's the easiest way. They all work the same. They all work the same. And that could be putting us back down here about $1.09 if that happens. Did you break a trend line over here? Not yet. Not yet. Working on it, but not yet. Tighten up my trend line game here. Well, wait a minute. If I tighten up my trend line game, maybe. But I don't like how I'm deviating from that angle. I think that angle has a lot to say right here. And if I guesstimate it, it's kind of pointing down here. Let's keep that idea in mind. Let me come back to the chat. 11 people hanging out. So some altcoins are doing good and some of them are looking like they might be getting ready to do something a little different. We're just in a warning stage, man. I just play this very carefully, waiting till tomorrow to see what happens with the news, how the market is going to react. We're going into the weekend, so market makers are already playing. Looks like they're trying to take us down. Now, I will say this, if they're taking us down today into tomorrow, and I don't know what the news is going to be, and it may just spook the market and then we do all right, you know? I don't know if they're going to cut rates or not. They're kind of we're screwed either way. Okay, we got to realize this is a serious talk. We're screwed either way. If they cut rates or they don't. If they don't cut it, we still see things go up. Inflation's still coming. We're not going to get away from inflation. They already screwed the pooch a long time ago. We saw the enormous rise in PPI, meaning that your manufacturers and everything are having to pay out the ass for the materials that they're getting to make the stuff that they're going to sell to us, and they ain't going to pocket out there. You're going to pay for it, so it's going to drive up CPI. Eventually, that'll be coming. So we're getting screwed that way. Regardless, then we got the job stuff coming out, which we found out all the numbers are wrong. Somebody's been screwing with the numbers. Well, duh. We had a bunch of Democrats in there, and I'm sorry. Before the past 8 years, I really didn't have much of a political stance. But I gotta say, and that's probably not going to help my YouTube channel, but from what I see from Democrats, Democrat Party is no longer appealing. If you look at the history of the Democratic Party, if you dig into it and see the history of it, you might start looking at it a different way. I'm just saying. They don't seem like the party of light anymore. Or if they ever did. They seem like the party that likes to play a lot of games under the table is what it seems like when you look at it. I'm sure they're really good people that are Democrats and believe in that, and nothing wrong with. But whoever is behind this party, I think they're pure freaking evil and twisted. And sorry, that's just how I feel about it. Show me something different, make me change my mind, and I will. Start showing me do good things and things that help this country out, and I'll say, hey, Democrats are kind of cool. Right now, I can't say that. I can say it's starting to look. So it's going to give me. Y'all are starting to look like a bunch of freaks. Obviously says Democrats. I mean, I'm really not trying, but I mean, what else can any intelligent observer, what can we make when we see what they're doing? Yeah, let's set everything on fire. Let's make America horrible. I don't get it. Anyway. Walmart already said they are passing costs to their customers with more revenue on their balance sheet, yet CPI hasn't gone up yet. It's scary. Okay, so we're damned if they do and damned if they don't, because if they do turn money printer on, cut the rates, we're going to pay for it. I mean, think about this. We're sitting here in crypto, going to change the world, but yet we're dependent on them printing money to see our numbers go up. Is it really going to change the world? Well, I mean, we know Bitcoin is a good thing, but everything else, altcoins are sucking until they turn on that money printer. So in essence, what are we doing? The money that they print ends up going into the markets, and if you don't grab all that you can when that printer is on, when they cut the printer off, you ain't got nothing. Both situations are not good. Neither situation is going to. So it's like you grab a pile of cash that you can, which is going to depreciate. But I don't know. There's a wealth transfer possibly going on here this fall, and I want to be part of it. So I want to grab all that cash that I can. But it sucks knowing that it's all because they turn on money printer. So we're out of our taxes that we're going to have to pay eventually. We're just kicking the can It pisses me off. Dave P says, "Hey Dave, how's it going, Dave? The devil is a deceiver." There's Dutch and Makasek. What's good? Midday stream, nice. Glitter Marshmallow says, "It's like Trump. We're heading down for a while, then maybe back up." If it's like Trump, we're heading down for a while, maybe back up. I don't want to see too big of a drop in Bitcoin. I don't know. $100,000 is actually a healthy test, but it's going to suck on that ride down, especially for altcoins. I think. I mean, that's usually that helps. Bitcoin. Maybe I'll look at Bitcoin dominance again. I just keep buying more, even if it goes to zero, says Strega. It's time for more tacos. Strega says 420. Seriously, 420 for the vibes. I got my lighter out. I guess I know what you guys are doing. I'm just saying. Oh, left behind. Oh, look, I got a smoke prop. You can't see that. It didn't work. Clap, clap to the winners. Dave P said that gives me hope for Crow to $1 maybe one day. I'm kind of lost in the chat. I don't know what we're talking about. Hey, how's Crow doing? That's one that I think is worth having, especially if you use the ecosystem, if you use the platform, use the card, anything like that. I think it's worth. Last cycle, I was kind of critical on Crow, but it went almost to $1 last time. I was like, oh my gosh, it's turned out to be one of the best things I did. I bought it at 18 cents. It went to 4. I was down on it. I did not have a good mindset for it, but then it went up to like 70, 80, and I was like, well, alrighty then. I had to have it locked up just to be able to use the benefits of the card at the time. And they're changing that. I think they got the credit card out now. I need a new debit card. I got one of the cool metal ones, and now I'm like, well, I need a new one. How am I going to get that? And none has showed up at my door yet. I think I got to go through the whole restaking of Crow again to get the new card. I think I still have one drop down a tier, and I can still use it electronically, but if I want to go to the dispensary or somewhere like that, and I don't know how I'm going to use it there. Oh my gosh. Did you say that out loud? I did. At 13 cents down here. Could we be coming back down there? Man, this thing was hanging around 8 cents for the longest time. Being at 13, 14 cents is pretty gosh darn juicy. It stayed down here for a minute in June, even coming back, and it's been down here before several times. And got 23 cents in December. I like it. I think we might want to add more to me little crow bags when we get down there. Abe says, you guys are making me reconsider my zero crow bag. Poor PC guy says, I made good profit on the moonbag strategy. SEI ended up paying me finally. Hey, cool. Moonbag strategy, I think, is one of the best out there. There's no other strategy that removes all the risk, and I wasn't doing that. I wasn't even considering that idea for the longest time. I don't know why, but my wife, who goes to casinos, that's her whole strategy at the casino, and it works for her. She moonbags it and then plays with the win. I don't know. She always comes out a winner at a casino, but that's her main strategy, is a moonbag. And I'm like, huh. And then, of course, Crypto Wendy O was one of the first people to actually call it moonbags and everything like that, and we're started being turned on to the idea. I'm like, that's amazing, man. It doubles. You take your money out, you're automatically a winner no matter what happens. The only downside I've seen is that, you can do it you end up collecting a lot of small bags on a lot of different projects. But I mean, if you stick with it, you can do it over and over with the same project and same project. Great strategy that way. But you can lean to, if you're a little degen like me, you get a lot of moonbags and a lot of different things. But then again, diversity, I guess. There's nothing in them. I still do it. I still think it's the best strategy out there. Striga says it looks good to him. Me, Damien, what's up, my man? I'm way back in the chat. All right, I got to catch up here. It's 4:20 on the East Coast. Dabs all day. We have no hopium over here. I have no hopium on the screen. Do I have to go to the hopium screen? What are your thoughts? Damien says, what are your thoughts about the viewer on my stream that didn't like the way I drew my fibs? With you being a big fib guy, I want to see you draw a fib and your thought process. Actually, I actually lean toward him, me, Damien, honestly. And I mentioned it earlier in the stream. You know, I mean, true, it is subjective. When I first learned how to draw fibs, and I talk about this, I got this in my chart school video and everything, and this is how I do it now and how I teach it now. And the reason, one of the things that opened my eyes to this was studying harmonic patterns and things like that. Which I'm still not expert at or anything. But when I was first taught, it was to pull a fib, and you're always looking for the 618, all right? And a lot of the strategies I got and how I explain it about the levels and the 236 and all this stuff, that I didn't learn anywhere. That's just putting together just by observation. But I think we got a really good strategy for that. But anyway, that's not getting away with it. So swing low to swing high. Tell me where I need to buy. This is why I use these terms. I had the songs out with this same thing. So when we're going up, I'm looking for retracements, right? So swing low to swing high is what I'm looking for. I want to see where it's going to bounce, where we're going to find, where we can catch bounces. And so that's what I do there. And then the other way is to pull it in the other direction. So now that we've already come down and we got a bottom, I don't pull the fib the same way. I do not. I mean, and it can work. And I know lots of, charting crypto does the same thing. Man, I've never felt the need to go bashing it because I used to do the same thing too. And you can get a strategy around it, all right? It can. So if we pull a fib, and you may look at it and say, but if I pull it there, there's not much of a difference, and you can say that. But the differences come with how you're applying it to the other strategies, or hopefully it'll make some sense. But I can't say that they're equal anymore. No, I can say it gives you an edge pulling it the other way. And so from going from high to low, and that may be something you just have to yourself. But you say, well, look, they line up. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't line up this perfectly at all. But you could say they're the same thing, right? That would be one of the first things, but it doesn't always line up this beautiful. Sometimes there's like, because we just happen to come all the way back down to a complete. What if it was over here? I mean, I'm trying to say, well, what are you trying to say, Road Dog? It would be, you'd be pulling the same. Okay. They look like they're the same, like they might be the same little critter, right? But you'll see some differences there. Let me see if I can get another. Can we go to Bitcoin? I'd like to do this on the Bitcoin chart. So let me see if we can. We'll just use this one. So I pull high to low to tell me where the support areas are going to come to. And let's do it. And if I were going to try to take that same area, doing it this way, yeah, you can make the argument that there is some overlap. There's some minor differences there too. And you're basically taking it with this strategy. If you're just pulling it the same one way, you're just looking at it level to level, and there's nothing wrong with that. That works. But there are a few little. I would say, I'm just going to say maybe a more advanced way to look at it when you start doing it the other way, when you pull from top to the bottom. And that's why you'll see me with this whole 236 strategy that I've got. It works. It's the same thing from top to bottom, man. 236. I mean, I'm not. I said that came out wrong. It's not the same thing top to bottom. When I pull it this way, my 236 becomes my support. And I got complete strategies with AB equals CD measure moves and things like that I can work for that. That's one of the things that got me into it. Because it allows me, by doing this, I've got a whole little system that I can work out some measure moves just based on where these Fibonacci's come back down to. If I pull them this way, if I pull them from the other way, I don't get that juicy little tidbit of knowledge on that system. So we're starting to lean into a different thought process on how we apply the fibs that way when we pull it down this way. And for me, the AB equals CD move is part of that. And that's where we start getting these little guys that give us some better targets and things like that to shoot for. And then the way I do my extensions also plays in that. Let me come back and make sure I'm understanding. So he was just trying to tune you in that there's, you know, if we're on a downtrend. Okay, I feel like I'm not explaining well. Swing low to swing high. Tell me where I'm going to buy it. Retracement. Swing high. This is what I do. Doesn't mean everybody else has to do it either. Swing high to swing low. Tell me where price is going to go. And then it opens up all my Fibonacci extensions if I want to go through all of that. So I use extensions rather than the extension tool. I'll just go ahead and put them on my regular fibs. But I don't know that I've answered your question. I don't know, but my interpretation is different when I do a swing high to a swing low. And then now all these areas become support. So I'm not looking at 786 being down here anymore. I'm looking at a 236 as we start to go up. And whereas the way that you pull it, and the way that I used to pull it too, and there's nothing wrong with it, again, reiterate that, there's nothing wrong with this, you would be looking at the 618 and 786 levels on the way, or whatever. I guess if we were going from here. See, now I'm getting all weirded. Oh my gosh. So we were going from this bottom and trying to measure the bottom to top. If we were doing it your way, it should be coming out like this. Now I'm freak, I'm getting good. And you would have a 786 area somewhere around, and you know your 618 would be around my 382. That's why I don't beat hairs about it. Because if you've already attuned yourself to your little system, you've already got your interpretations, and you can do that level by level. We're bouncing off of 786 or whatever. I'm just reading that totally different. I'm not looking at it as support. I'm looking for the resistance. So this is how I measure resistance, where we can, I think it's more accurately for me to pinpoint the pivot areas this way. But technically, the Fibonacci areas, they're within close consolidation of each other. They're within close enough that whichever way you do it, you can still get good results. So I don't know that I answered the question or not. But this is the way that I've been doing it, and with the way that I use extensions, that's why it helps me out the most. I wouldn't get the same with my strategy. It wouldn't. I don't feel like I'm making a good explanation for it. I would have to start getting into these guys, and because this is where, you know, the way that I do my extensions and how I get these numbers here. I have found it to work better for me when I pull with the trend. And I guess it's just best to leave it at that. That's why I'm not in there trying to nitpick and say, no, you don't do it the way I do it, so you're wrong. But I just try to share the way I do it and how I interpret it and those methods. So, and I'm not the only one. There's other people that do this too. And so when I see somebody else does it, it's kind of cool. I don't think I did a good job of explaining that. I think my videos, though, I think I did a little bit better job, because I actually went in the process, and there's even ones where we see it in play, and I break it down, and you can see how well price action respects, you know, the movement between those fibs. So let me see if I can go back over the question. So what are your thoughts about the viewer on my stream that didn't like the way? Well, I mean, it was his opinion. In my thoughts, I think he was just trying to bring it to light. It's just something to consider. I don't think he was trying to bash you at all. I don't think he was trying to be offensive. I just think he was trying to share. And no, I don't. And just know you don't have to do what other people do. Nobody has to look at the fibs the way I look at them. But it works for me, so I just try to share that. So I don't know. I feel like I got to do this again. So when you watch me do fibs and we're in an uptrend, I will be pulling low to high, and then I will pull that little guy over, and those are my lines I'm looking for support when we start coming down. And I know that I've got certain areas, certain ones that come into play for certain things that happen on some of my strategies, and just good all around bottom areas. In the harmonic patterns, the 786 and 886s will come into play a lot. You know, when you see the guys doing all this stuff. Oh, where are you? We did some of this earlier. And I don't have a good one here, but I'm just going to pretend that we have something. You know, you might have price action that does something like this, and you'll see them draw out the little bear. Oh, well, maybe like over here. Over here is where, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. And again, this is not my forte. This is still something that I'm looking at, and it overlaps with the system that I've learned. So there's some overlap with these ideas. Where you might get that harmonic pattern, but usually you'll see them, they'll come back to an 886 or 786, and just to put, you know, the cliff notes in. So we take our swing high to swing low. We take this first one low to high, and that's what we go with. You can take that one. Technically you can make an argument for either way, but this one would give us our retracement here. And still, from that retracement, when you do harmonic patterns, they usually do come back down to these little areas there. And now that one probably kind of fits in with what you're doing and how you're looking at it, if you're looking at that. But if you're trying to do this one to that one, I wouldn't measure from here to there. If I'm trying to measure like this bottom to that one, I would be going from high to low. And I would be applying those levels different, because, you know, they'll be different. Even though the lines, they come up really close. There's little subtle differences. But to me, I've seen those little subtle differences come into play. So I do kind of lean to it. So I would be looking, like on my analysis, if I'm doing it, just like I do, I'm pulling from high to low. So I got these, my 786s at the top for reversals, versus me pulling from low to high again to try to find my resistance. I don't know. Hopefully that kind of explains things. If I were going to use a high to low, I would be looking more from this high back to a previous low rather than a new low, if that makes sense. I think that's the point I'm trying to get across. If I'm looking to try to see what's going on over here and I'm going from low to high, I'm going based on what happened on this move, or maybe even from, you know, including this low to that top. Either one could be applicable. I would actually put more emphasis on this one. But once it gets down to the bottom, I'm still not pulling the same way. I wouldn't be using this bottom and that top with this type of pull. That would look something like this. I feel like I just confused everybody. Let's see what we got. All right, let's come back to the chart and see what we got. Billy Bong Thornton says, can you look at MindFreak on the Ethereum 20 exchange, listing 24 hours? More to come tomorrow, 8 million market cap. Matt Fury narrative. We sure can, Billy Bong Thornton. Let me write it down. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can see what Damien's got over here to say. I don't want to make sure we try to address that, because, I mean, the fibs are confusing for everybody. It was very confusing and hard to find solid information. Also, Fibonacci Trading by Carolyn Borodin, another good source there to go with. and Fibonacci trading secrets you're not supposed to know. Also another nice little source of information to give you some ideas about fibs. And I don't do everything exactly the way that they do. All right, Damien says he wasn't arguing about pulling from top to bottom or bottom to top. He was getting on me for not doing swing low to swing high. I went recent high to previous low, and he didn't like that. Now, I think he was just trying to. I think he was trying to. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. I'm not sure. So I don't know what he was getting. I don't think he was getting mad. I think he got frustrated at the end because what I think happened, and this is just my 2 cents. It doesn't mean anything. Just me and my intuitions. All it is. I think he was just trying. I think it threw him back. He said, I remember him saying, I haven't seen somebody pull fibs like that before. And then he was trying to show, share his way of pulling in both directions. This is what I took. And then maybe just because it's text here on chats, maybe things got misinterpreted or, misconstrued or misunderstood it. I don't think he was trying to be derogatory or insulting or anything like that. I just think he was just trying to share information. And then it becomes, well, is this way right, this way wrong? Who's right, who's wrong? It doesn't have to be a who's right or who's wrong. It can just be, hey man, here's an option, here's an option. Maybe look at this and see see if you have better luck with it looking at it this way or something. That's just kind of how I took it. And then maybe it was like, then he I think he was trying to be helpful, and then he felt like maybe you took it as an offense, and he wasn't trying to be offensive, and then he's like, I give my head, I'm not trying to be offensive, I give up. I think you got frustrated there. That's what I take. I don't know. You had a good stream, and this is a good topic to talk about. It is. It's good to get that out there. So I don't know what he was getting mad about, because it was still a swing low and a swing high. It just made lower lows and higher highs, which I think he wanted me to account for. Or maybe he wanted me to use trend-based fibs. I don't think he was asking you to use trend-based fibs. I think he was just trying to show you the thing. I saw he has a grasp of what I do. He does this fib analysis the way that I do mine. So when we're on an uptrend, swing low, swing high, looking for retracements, and then to measure for this swing here, I'm pulling from swing high to swing low. Whereas I think you would probably pull from, you would do something different. But of course, I'm looking at this, I got a different strategy than what you do, right? I got my 2, 3, 6 levels. My little, hey, this is the best place to buy ever, once we get up here past it. And it's a different way to look at it. And you would be still, if you were still pulling from bottom to top for this move, you're still looking at what I would be considering bottom areas for it to find support. You're just flipping support resistance. It's just, I don't think it's anything to get too bent over shape out of. But me personally, I do lean with what he does, and I do it the way that he does it. So, but I used to do it the other way, so I know. Got experience with both sides. Damon says, I was trying to tell him that when you look at different time frames, bigger time frames, the candles change, and what you thought was a swing low doesn't show up on the chart anymore. Now that I might, if I'm understanding you right, I might debate a little on that, because I'm of the opinion that it doesn't matter about time frames and Fibonacci's, because I'm going from top to, I'm not doing candle bodies, and that's why you may be doing candle bodies, and there, yeah, you can make an argument for that. I'm taking the whole thing. I don't care, wick to wick, the whole move. And some people do that. Some people only pull, I'm not sure if you do or not, but some people might only go from bodies to bodies, and so a time frame could give you different information there. And be what's a wick on the weekly is much different from what the bottom is on the weekly, and then that's much different than if, say, you're on the 5 minute and looking at that. That's probably more of a candle body up there. And so, I mean, you can get some different results playing by that. That's why I just go for the full move, and I'm consistent. It's always consistent if I'm taking that full move, wick to wick. It's always consistent. Very top, very bottom, doesn't matter what time frame I'm on. That's just how I look at it. Just how I look at it. So it still becomes subjective when I do a bigger picture Fibonacci retracements. Well, I still maintain what I say about the overall wicks and stuff, but yeah, Fibonacci, everything that we're doing is subjective, though, really can be. And just have a system and rules on how it's played is important, and being consistent with that. It's whatever, we can move on. It's, like I said, I don't think it needs to turn into anything more than that. It's just a different way of looking at how to use fibs, and both of them can work correctly and work awesomely. Justin says, draw the fibs way you want. F the haters. Now, basically, yeah, it's coming down. It's coming down to what works for you and what's true for you, and how you interpret that. Because I mean, very little changes, but it's but there is a little. It's mostly between the 786 and 236 and these guys right here. And it's not much. It's not much. See, the other ones tend to form up really nice. Extensions can be a little different, and here's where you start veering off, and this can make the difference between, you know, and I look at it sometimes you will see things go up and nail that target, and sometimes it doesn't. I like to see it nail that target, so I found something that helps me nail the target a little bit better, and that little bit of difference is enough to switch me over. Just personal preference, I guess. But a lot of, you know, just know, you know, a lot of people do it the way you do it, and there are also a lot of people that do it the way that me and what was his name? Mark Dutch. Matt Dutch. Is it Mark Dutch or Matt Dutch? I don't know. Dutchy is what he goes by. Justin says, wick to wick. Wick to wick sounds sus. Hey, what's up, Mr. Miles? How's it going? Justin says, never heard of going body to body. Might be good on higher time frames. Yeah, I've seen people do it, but it's not my thing. Not enough memory to open this page. Bitcoin hasn't had a higher high on the 4th since August 20th. These market makers are pushing the limits on the extreme imbalance. I believe that too. Since August 20th. All right, I think we're caught up with the chat. How's our buddy Bitcoin doing? Is it doing anything? What have you done? What have you done? You went down to, when was this? Oh, that's been a minute. Where are we at? Oh, here you are. So we still haven't broke our area here. It made a higher low over here on the short term. It's just a hope sign at the moment. We're above the 9 moving average on the 6 minute. So we still haven't come down to confirm double bottom, and again, it's not confirmed until it's broken, or a double top scenario. I'm sorry. This might be confusing for some people if they're a little bit newer to trading, because, you know, some people be calling double top, some people be calling, look, it's a double bottom. And there can be a tricky period where you're overthinking things and thinking too much about trying to figure things out, and you're like, you see both sides at the same time. Some of these influencers, I think, I don't know what they're thinking, but sometimes I see them do things like that, and I'm like, how the hell are you teaching people? How are people supposed to learn? Look, it's a head and shoulder forming to the downside. And then the same thing, they're also looking for, look, it's an inverted head and shoulders forming to the upside. And I'm like, oh my God, can we just try to wreck as many people as we can and get them all confused with that kind of logic? I don't know. Those are the the things I tend to find myself complaining about more. There was another person on your stream that was talking about the moving average strategy, and they got it. That's cool. Not a lot of people understand that 5 movement, or don't interpret it the same way. I'll put it that way. But there is a dance between price and these moving averages. I would say, as far as it goes, there's almost an algorithm within how price works within some of these moving averages. It's crazy. And I did have a video on the 10-second or 1 minute chart that we did. I did with Fibonacci's, and just happened to be we were at a bottom, and it happened to play out both strategies, showing exactly how they work in real time. And it did it just perfectly for both of those strategies. Showing how things work and how you can use those on bottoms to help you navigate those stuff. And that's in the, I think I moved it over to the $3 section, $3 YouTube. I think I moved it over there, just so people can have access. So if you ever get a gifted membership or anything like that, all that stuff is over there to check out. But I've got to say, that was probably one of the most enlightening videos. I don't know how much if anybody's even really paid that much attention to it, but there's a lot of alpha in that particular little video clip that I took. It was also on a live stream. I actually got the live stream. It's the Baywatch. Don't remember which one it is. I took that section out when we were tracking the bottom, and all that stuff was working out just perfectly. I mean, it's a perfect example on how to explain how I use Fibonacci and the moving averages, because they were just doing it the way it's supposed to. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is about all I got. We're just trying to wait and see what's happening tomorrow, and we haven't yet made it down to past our point of no return over here at 111.8. Going below that puts us into some lower areas. Eventually, maybe even going as low as 105, 100,000. No need to get freaked out yet, but we just want to have these thoughts in mind so it doesn't sneak up on us and smack us upside the head, and you're like, why didn't I sell? The biggest thing that I'm driving home today with this daily stream, the warning sign I'm looking for, is the MACD on the weekly. It is not confirmed, and it may not confirm. It can still do a bunch of fake outs, but we got the first warning signs that something dark may be coming, and it would suck that this would go through October or even into November on a downtrend, and then we bump up and get our big rise. I mean, we don't know, but this is starting to look suspect. Okay, we gotta make some plans here, some plan Bs, so we don't get our asses handed to us. That is the reason that I'm doing this stream today. That was the main message. Watching this one on the weekly, when that crosses, it's going to be sad, because you're going to be forced to sell at a lower place than you are now, and you're going to be licking your wounds. But it's better than not selling when it crosses and it dumping and going through all this, and then you're like, oh my god, you're saying, I really should have sold when it crossed. And it's going to hurt like hell. It hurts like hell when that happens and you haven't taken any preemptive actions. If this blue line crosses over that red line on the weekly MACD, this thing starts getting into the red over here. When it first starts doing it, that's your last chance to sell. Rip the band-aid off. It's going to hurt like hell. Prices have already dropped, and they're going to keep dropping in most cases, but that can still save you from experiencing a lot more pain. That's what I'm trying to get across. So we're monitoring that to see when we finally need to just make that last little capitulate. That will be when I capitulate, when that crosses. Just throwing it out there. Or if I'm smart, that's what I should do. That's what it has always shown me in the past. So just trying to share that. Not saying it's going to happen. Not saying it's going to happen, but your weeklies are looking weak AF. They're looking weak AF. Like the fun might be over. Like the party might be about to end as we start losing our signal line. This is your sell signal on the weekly on the RSI. It had already happened. It happened right here. I can't even get it on the weekly. This was it before. This is it, and this is the week after. So we're in betwixt the sell signal, right where the sell signal for our. And this is what the bots do. This is how bots are programmed. Or you can program them any way you want if you got a good one, but when it loses this 70% line, see, we came down to the 70% line, we bounced up, right? And things look, that was good. But when we lost it, that's your sell signal for RSI on the weekly. And so a lot of bots coupling that with maybe some other things to make sure they're not doing, you know, making the wrong decision, because that's how bots work. You also lost a trend line on this. This is not looking good for the weekly. I'm just throwing that out there. It's not looking good. And when it's first starting out is when we can get into denial the most and say, oh, it's probably wrong. It's a lagging indicator, all these things. It's a weekly. It's a lagging indicator. We can listen, the 1 minute's telling me what's going to happen, and that's how you get your asses handed to you. The good signs, again, on the weekly, we did this at the beginning of the string too, is that we have not broken closing a candle below this 9-moving average. We'll see if we do that next week. That would be the other time to rip the band-aid off and cut your losses too. So I'm looking for possible areas to cut losses that may be coming up, and I hate to be talking about that, but breaking the trend line, that we have to have that conversation now. And so we're just looking at the signs, and so I'm waiting to see if this little trend line, this little bottom gets broken, and it may be a fake out. And then I'm still looking in the areas up to 114, 115, 117 that we might get a pullback, and that would be my de-risking time. That's the game plan. If we get a bounce here and we can't get past the 116, 117, that's where I'm going to try to de-risk. I'm not, unless we come down here and close a candle under here, and then I'm going to be forced to de-risk down here. I don't want to do that. If that happens at all. If that happens at all. There could also, we also made the argument that at this point in the game, they could be trying to pull the wool over our eyes with this particular red little line here. And if we can hang out here and hang above it, there might be a big explosive move come. So they've got us bent over a barrel, right, where it could be damned if we do and damned if we don't. And I recommend, hey man, let's just chill out. Let's just chill out for the next few days, see what's going on. That's what I'm going to do. Protecting my positions and just waiting. I'm taking profits when I can on what's up, because like I said, we looked at a lot of coins that are still up. Really good, really strong. That may be a hint that this is all a fake out. I don't know. I'm just trying to show you what I'm seeing. There's some signs both ways. But one thing I can be sure of, if they can make you freak out and make the wrong decision, go all in one way or the other, they got you right where they want you. I gotta sell everything. I'm gonna front run the downside. No downside. Oh, I'm gonna go all in because we're getting ready to blast off. We're dumping. We don't want to do anything extreme right now. We just want to chill. Wait for verifications of something. First one I'm looking for is break of 11.8. We break and close a candle below that. That's going to confirm maybe more downtime than 105. If we just wick back above it, they're playing with us. They're trying to range us out, get us all scared. We may just range for a while. They've got us by the balls, ladies and gentlemen. By the balls. I'm just going to sit here and try to hold my breath and hope that they lighten up a little bit, and we'll see what kind of move where I can scratch their eyeballs out as soon as they lighten up their grip. Coming for you, little bastard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, going to the end screen. We'll be back again tonight at 10:30 and see what the effect on the market is, see if we got any other little signals. But again, the biggest one is losing this freaking trend line at 117. I know I wish I'd done a little bit more over there. I always do. It's always hindsight's 2020, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, see you tonight.
I slide into the dip. Your touch so
Oh,
cold and deep.
Gator, I didn't see that. I'm sorry. We can take a look at it right now. Keep up the good work. FET if you get the chance. We'll do it right now. FET. I like it. I got a bag of it. I got it staking, and I'm very pleased with my staking rewards and all that stuff. It's at 66 cents, and we know that this week, and it's been up higher before, a lot higher, $3 and whatnot. So what are we doing? Now, one thing I like about this is we got the big thick green cloud, and we got a little sliver. There could be a situation where we get bumped up and recover 79.80 cents and get above the green cloud and go on our happy way. Depends on what happens between today and tomorrow in the markets and stuff. We don't have a... There's one idea there. I'm not sold on it. Let me turn the music down. So I've got a candle body here, and we got a wick and the candle body there. So we do have a trend line. We've got a valid trend line that is holding. That's the last thing I've got until we drop down and start testing these other areas, about 53 cents. And that could happen. I mean, look, we're at areas of support, and then it could just be spending its time making a bottom pattern. It could be start looking like an Adam and Eve as we jump up and down through here. So we may be ranging down here between 50 and 70 cents as we try to make a bottom pattern along this line of support. That could be definitely what we're seeing. So I'm not worried unless we lose that line, but see, we already lost it one time and broke back in. So we're kind of hoping that maybe kind of sort of we ain't gonna come back down here again, man. Maybe if anything, touch bottom trend line and bounce up. So just being patient with this one. We're still in our little accumulation zone here. Still a good place to be trying to DCA or slowly accumulate this, in my personal opinion. I'm on the 3-day chart, by the way, so that should hold quite a bit of weight, and it may take a while for it to get down to these little areas if it's going to go there at all. I think it looks a little bit more hopeful than not here on the weekly. I mean, we're flirting with losing the weekly 200 moving average, but it's been doing that for the last 2 months, losing it, gaining it, losing it, gaining it. We're just hanging right on it. So that's kind of cool if that hangs out there for a while longer. We just don't want to lose that 200, but the 100 is way above it, and so are some of the other moving averages. I'm not as concerned about that happening. I think it looks better than, more promising than not, in my personal opinion. Judson says Wednesday, August 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The 4-hour candle just closed, the 7th lower low since then. Middle of the drop is 118. David's going for a swim? That sounds like a good thing to do. Have fun, learn lots. Hubby got home, so gotta go. Doing marshmallow is already out. Let's come down here and see who's still here. Mr. Miles, we see volatility. I like this whenever he talks about these things. Billy Bob Morton says, mine back. Mr. Miles says, it makes any and all indicators messy. See y'all tonight. Sean is waiting with his tuna fish breath, so wear a mask and bring some Lysol. That's good advice, Ave. Fishkin. So yeah, we talked about this earlier, Miss Mel. I don't know when you came in, but yeah, this is all about that tomorrow. My advice is just to hang tight and let's see what's happening, because all the manipulators are going to be out there to they're going to have a feast. So I'm just sitting down. I'm just trying to cover my bases, and we'll get a feel for whether we're going to go up or down, I believe, after tomorrow. It just pisses me off that we're dependent on them to turn the damn money printer on before we can make any money, and that makes me just look at this whole sector and everything and say, well, we're just all dependent on the whole tax shell game. Taxes, and then let the Federal Reserve print money and have us loan it to the government so we can pay them back. It's a big freaking scam. All this because Bretton Woods, we had to go off the damn gold standard because bankers like to lie and fractionalize money, say they have money that they don't have. That's just where it's all come from. It came from fraud. It never has changed. It's just legalized fraud, in my personal opinion. Thanks, guys. I'll see you tonight. Thanks for hanging out.